I'm so happy to see you guys again. Today, we are going to talk about the special ad category that now exists for the insurance business under Facebook ads. Let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Oscar Gonzalez and I'm the founder of Scale My Social. I try to put out content that helps insurance agents and agencies generate high quality leads at wholesale prices, and I also try to give some sales tips for agents that are out there. Today we're getting into special categories. It's something that's been around for a very long time within the Ads Manager platform, but as of January of this year, they now classify insurance ads as part of this special category. Now again, insurance has actually been part of the category for over a year. They just really haven't been enforcing it. But I think it's important to first understand what are special ad categories within the Facebook ads platform and how you can maneuver and go about it, right? And still generate leads, still run successful campaigns. So the first thing to remember is that this is not going to affect campaigns whatsoever if you understand how to play accordingly. So number one, what are special ad categories? So special ad categories are restrictions for certain industries that are running ads on Facebook. Those categories are credit, housing, employment, and politics. So if you're in those industries and you're running campaigns specifically for them, then you will have certain restrictions as to how you can target people, the ages of people that you can target, and this all goes into discrimination, right? Particularly because there are laws in place for housing, right? Strict laws on equal opportunity, non-discrimination to a certain race, a certain gender. The same thing with employment. There's very strict laws out there to prevent discrimination to people. And the same thing applies for credit, and the same thing obviously applies when we talk about politics. Insurance is one of those industries that also has laws and regulations against discrimination, and is why now Facebook ads has made the push to start enforcing this within Ads Manager. Now, insurance falls under credit special category. So when you go on to Facebook ads and you look at the support articles about this, that's where you're gonna find all the information, and you'll see that insurance services are classified now as a credit special category. So what does that actually mean? Well, only really two basic things that affect the campaigns. Number one, it means that you can no longer target specific zip codes or cities. So you can still target by state, right? You can still go after the states that you're licensed in. You just can't specifically target zip codes and cities. Now, why is that, right? Why can't I target a specific zip code in an area or a city in a state? And again, we go back to discrimination. What Facebook doesn't want to do is be a part of lawsuits or legal battles where somebody ran an ad to, let's say, an underprivileged area, a city, a zip code, low income areas that can potentially lead to predatory practices and create, again, lawsuits, which is something Facebook does not ever want to be a part of. So as a result, you can still target statewide. You just can't specifically go after the city or the zip code. Now, the second restriction, this is really quite simple, so it's not that big of a deal, guys, not anything that's going to affect your campaigns if you know how to properly go about it and set it all up. So the second big restriction is age. If you're classified as a special ad category, you are not able to focus on a specific age, right? Any ad that you run has to run 18 years of age plus, all the way to 65 plus, which are the two limits or standards or settings of Facebook ages. So what does that mean? Does that mean that if you're doing, for example, final expense or Medicare, that now your ad is going to be delivered to an 18-year-old? Not necessarily, right? It's really important to understand and have a bit of history as to Ads Manager and where they've been moving to for the last couple of years. So in years past, something that was very focused on by marketers was heavy targeting, right? Hyper targeting, hyper focusing on specific audiences and trying to find these specific folks by targeting by ages, interests, all these different things. What's happened over the course of the last 3 years, maybe even a little bit longer, Facebook ads, as it's introduced more and more AI capabilities and AI reasoning models, they've been able to start really targeting your audience without the need of you doing it, right? And so little by little, we've seen that in Ads Manager, less interests have been available, less targeting has been available, and they are heavily pushing the idea that if you allow the algorithm to find your audience and you have proper creative to speak to your audience, then algorithm is actually going to do a much better job in finding that audience than actually you will by setting up any of those targeting features, okay? So the idea is, well, how do I speak to, or how do I target to my age demographic? So again, for example, if we're talking about Medicare or final expense, for final expense specifically, guys, if I'm gonna run a video or I'm gonna run an ad on an image, right? I might say, or at the top of that image, I might have it say, if you're over the age of 50, right? Or seniors, listen up. If I'm running a video for final expense, the hook of the video might be, if you're a parent over the age of 55, this message is for you. If you're retired, if you're a senior. So you want to name the audience, the avatar, whoever you're looking to target should be named, particularly in the beginning of those creatives or in the beginning of the video, so that Facebook can start understanding as it's delivering the ad and people start responding to it, they're going to be able to understand who the actual audience is. And as they start finding that audience, their algorithms and the AI is now good enough, guys, that they are going to be able to find your avatar, your audience, without you ever having to worry about it. Now, sometimes you'll find that as smart as the algorithm is, it could also be pretty dumb. And the reason for that is it's looking for people that are most likely to convert into leads. This is why sometimes when you run campaigns, all of a sudden you'll see that you'll get a lot of people that maybe don't have a lot of money, or people who are maybe have a lot of medical conditions, and they come in waves. And the reason for it is Facebook ads, the algorithm is so good, and they have so many data points on us that they can truly pinpoint a specific type of person. And when that type of person converts, for example, a person who has a medical condition or several medical conditions, clicks on the ad and converts into a lead, Facebook is identifying that person and they're going to look for more people that are similar to that. Therefore, potentially finding others that are also sick, right? Think about people that maybe have cancer or have had a heart attack. Those folks likely, maybe, have joined groups on Facebook of people that have survived cancer, people that have gone through heart attacks. And so they have that data and they're gonna try to find other folks like that. And so that's what I mean when I say that sometimes the algorithm can be extremely smart, and other times it could actually be pretty dumb, right? Because it will continue to look for those sick people. And that's when you get these waves of folks that maybe are sick or that maybe don't have any money, right? So how do you fix that? Well, typically it fixes itself, guys, okay? If you start finding that in your campaigns, you're getting too many sick people or people with no money, you should see those waves come and go within about a week. 10 days is typically what I notice when agents or clients come to us and say, hey, Oscar, I'm noticing that I'm getting a bunch of sick people or a bunch of people with no money. I will typically allow a few days, a week or so to go by before we make any changes. Now, if you see that consistently, week after week, you keep getting that type of lead, then you have to reset the ad and allow it to go back into learning. right? It's the only way that you're gonna trigger the ad to do something different, because it now has completely fallen into this and it's gonna continue driving those folks for you. So you would reset the ad by either stopping it, starting it, adjusting the budget, adjusting the audience. There's a lot of different things that you can do that will make the ad, you're basically forcing the ad to go back into a learning phase. So that should give you a really good rundown on special ad categories. Here are some last notes to keep in mind. Number one, special ad categories are not happening to all types of insurance. I specifically confirmed this with our Meta partner account manager. My company, Scale My Social, we are a Facebook Meta partner, and we do have an assigned account representative that I communicate with on a monthly basis about all the ad accounts that we manage and that we help with. And something that was very important to me was understanding this special ad category. Now, here's what's interesting. When we talk about insurance, particularly things like home and auto, right? These are ones that I believe, and that was confirmed by our account manager, that are absolutely going to get rejected if you're not classifying them as special ad categories. Why? Because for the most part, car insurance should be available to everybody, ages 18, 65, 70, and everything in between. Same thing for homeowners policy. So P&C lines of insurance, be very cautious. And if you do find, if you do find that the ad gets rejected, don't play with it. It's gonna give you a message. It'll tell you that it's been rejected because you haven't classified it properly. Don't mess with that. If you continue to run ads without properly classifying it, you are going to get your ad account disabled. So do not do it, guys, okay? Instead, go in, properly classify the ad, and move forward. It's not that big of a deal. Now, for things like final expense, well, as agents, we know that final expense isn't offered to people under the age of 50, 55, typically by carrier. So you can't even give that product to an 18-year-old or a 25-year-old. And I think Facebook understands these things. And as of right now, guys, we are still starting ads as of today, and this video going live, we are starting ads still within final expense, Medicare, even some health insurance ads without classifying, and they are getting approved and we're not having any issues. My recommendation to you is try it out. But again, if you do get a rejection on that campaign that says category must be chosen, don't mess around with it. Don't keep trying. Just go and classify your ads, guys. I hope that this brought you some good information and that it answered some questions, and most importantly, that it doesn't let you get nervous or scared, because there's a lot of fear mongering out there. There's a lot of people out there that will drive you somewhere else to sell you something and mislead you using scare tactics. Special ad categories is really no big deal, guys. And when we understand the concept of it, how to use it and how to work around it, you're gonna find that it's nothing else, right? So if you have any questions, if I can help out in any way, if my company can help you in any way, feel free to reach out to us. And again, guys, if this video brought any value to you whatsoever, share it, subscribe, like it. And finally, if you would like to have your ads looked at, your campaigns, a free review or a consultation of some of the services that we provide as a lead generation company and an ad management company, whether you're an independent agent or you're an agency, there's a link somewhere below this video where you can book a call and speak to one of us about any and all of the options that we have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see everybody on the next one.